With a new Wolverine movie around the corner, fans are wondering if this movie will be a hit or the one that finally lays Logan to rest. Also, we have a special guest. Scott McMullen is here.
Hello.
Find out everything on True Believers.
I got a good Wolverine story about my dad that I got to tell you guys about.
Oh, go for it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you want me to just go ahead and start off with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why not?
Well, so my dad, he doesn't know anything about comics because he's my dad. He's an older guy. He doesn't know. So he lives in Florida, and we went to Universal Studios in Orlando just to check it out. You know how they have, like, the Marvel superhero parade or whatever, and they got Captain America and Wolverine and Rogue and Storm, and they all, basically what happens is they all come out on these ATVs, and they all, like, drive around and whatnot, and then get off and post pictures of people. And they do it, like, every hour on the hour, every 2 hours or something like that. They got a set schedule for this stuff. Well, it's towards the end of the day, and Dad and I are just getting a pizza or whatever at the concession stand, and this big door opens up from out of nowhere, and here come the characters on the ATVs, and I'm like, oh, that's where they come out of. And, you know, the guy who's playing Wolverine is probably a little more overweight than Wolverine would be, you know, portrayed in a comic or cartoon or film. And he's like pointing at everybody with his claws instead of his fingers. He's like, I'm pointing at you, pointing at you. And so he comes zooming by, and my dad goes, that guy in the yellow? And I go, yeah? He goes, yeah, that guy with the claws. And I go, yeah, that's Wolverine. And he goes, yeah, he's gay. And I go, you're right, Dad, he is.
What's funny is, like, when all of the, Marvel and DC were coming out with gay characters, that's the first person I thought they should have turned gay. Because I think that would have if they were going for, like, a shock factor to either tick people off or to get people to read more, I would have thought, Logan, he's in shape, he's hairy.
He's handsome.
He's a bear of a man.
Yes.
He is a bear.
Why not?
Well, and I mean, it would either work really well or it'd work really bad because he's already the most popular character.
Yeah, and you got to make sure you're doing it for the right reasons and not for shock value.
I do it for shock value.
Well, of course.
What do you have to lose?
There was probably a good chance in the 90s it was going to happen since they were doing everything in the 90s for no reason.
Oh.
Oh, man.
So does a mutant gene not turn gay? I don't know.
Huh?
Never mind.
No, don't start talking about the genetics of gayness. Please don't do that.
Keep your religion at your home.
Oh, boy. Or your pseudoscience, for that matter. Let's not get into that. We're about comics.
Okay. Let's not get political like last time.
So let's go ahead and tell Scott. Tell us what you're doing for us. You're our webmaster.
I'm a webmaster.
If that's the title you want, we can call you something else.
I have to build a website for a final project before I can graduate with a web developer degree, and I figured, well, I have some friends who have a podcast who really need a website.
Yes.
So I figured I'd go ahead and do that. Hopefully it'll be up and running at the very beginning of May. Actually, I'm not even going to say hopefully. It's going to be up and running at the very beginning of May.
Yeah, you have
period.
to. It's your grade.
Yeah, I know. Otherwise,
you want to fail.
Otherwise, I'm screwed, and your listeners are going to be ticked.
Well, and I do want to point out
we've
been actually working with you for a while, but everyone's schedules, we've been kind of going back and forth, especially since you guys are still journalists.
Yeah, and then there was March Madness, and then there was Winter, and then there was there's
Final Four,
Winter 2,
Winter 2 Electric Boogaloo,
Redux,
yeah. It's like, good Lord, Winter 2 The Quickening. I'm a Spaniard.
Man, speaking of bad sequels,
I knew we were gonna
all of a sudden, it's like they never even saw the first one.
No, that was pretty much it. Yeah. Well, the first one didn't leave it open for a sequel because they're like, that's it. There's no more Immortals. I'm the last one. Yeah. That's it. Clancy Brown's awesome in that first one anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah. I don't want to get started on it.
No, you better not.
We're here to talk about Wolverine.
Actually, we need to make sure this issue has mail before we get too crazy.
Okay. Well, we can talk about the trailer.
We can still talk about it. Yeah. Wolverine's in like 18 million comics.
Yeah.
So currently,
Well,
I mean,
when's that movie's coming out? It's this summer, isn't it?
yeah, I want to say it's.
Look at me.
I want to say it's June. I don't think it's a May release. I'm on the Wikipedia. I'll find out in just a minute. I'm gonna stall a little bit. Do you guys want to talk about the first one first? The first Wolverine
Oh,
movie?
yeah.
X-Men,
let's
yeah,
talk
the
about
first Wolverine movie,
Yeah.
How about the second Wolverine movie, X-Men 2, and the third X-Men movie, which was the third Wolverine?
I do love how they make Wolverine spin-offs, even though Wolverine was the star anyway of the first ones.
No, yeah.
Oh,
No doubt.
Yeah.
Now, even of the comic books, he's the star. I mean, if you look at the new ones that the Marvel read.
Well, who the hell
did.
reads new Marvel?
Well,
I've read a
Marvel.
couple.
What are you talking about? I
I'm
read
just
Marvel.
kidding.
I
I'm
love
just kidding.
Marvel.
I keyed.
Yeah, you better be kidding. I'm coming after you.
Well, what are the new ones called? They're called like Wolverine and the X-Men.
There's Wolverine. Well, because there's a bunch of X-Men titles right now, and Wolverine I think is in 3 of them, even though he's not even he gets referenced in all of them.
Yeah,
But he's
yeah.
not even like I mean there's one that we were talking about Wolverine being a bear. There's one called
And boy, is he ever.
there's one called Extreme X-Men.
Yes, I saw
And it's
that.
about alternate reality X-Men. One of them is an alternate reality Wolverine, whose name is, I think, Governor James Howlett. Okay? He doesn't have adamantium bones. He has, like, adamite bones or something. It's like and they're gold. They're like the metal of the gods.
Ooh,
And he's gay, and his lover is Hercules.
nice.
Ooh, now
Yeah.
Oh my god.
that sounds.
And
I
you know
want to
what?
read that.
And you know what? It's a crazy fun book. The leader of the group is Dazzler.
Why?
All right, I'm gonna have to pick it up.
They just
I'm gonna have to-
recently-
you sold me.
They just
Dazzler is like the share of this alternate reality. I take it.
No, the real Dazzler from like 616
Yeah.
ends up as the leader of this group.
Yeah,
and, like
but she's kind of like their share. She's dazzling.
yeah. But I mean, like it's crazy because it actually started from I think a storyline in I don't know if it was from another Extreme X-Men book or because like I think this is like the second volume of Extreme X-Men or 8th volume. I don't know. They keep renumbering them. But it's just this current run is really fun and good because they have to go to alternate realities killing evil Xaviers. And at one point they end up in the 616 universe and Dazzler doesn't believe it's the 616 universe because, you know, Cyclops killed Wolverine and all this stuff. She's like, that's not what happened. It's got to be an evil universe. But by the end of the issue, she's like, I know it's my universe. I'm just really pissed off. Cyclops killed killed Xavier. So yeah. But I don't know. It's a fun, goofy little junk.
I'll have to pick it up.
Yeah, I would pick it up. It'll probably come out in a trade paperback or whatever.
Oh
real
yeah,
soon,
definitely.
So, it's only like 13 issues of this run.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah. Let's see. The new Wolverine movie, The Wolverine, comes out July 24th.
Okay.
And I did not realize that it was going to be taking place after X-Men 3.
Yeah,
It's like right
it's
after,
weird.
doesn't it?
Yeah. It's
Sure,
like
yeah.
he goes. I guess the premise is he goes to Japan after Jean's death, and he's like
Sulks.
Yeah, he's gonna go brood.
Well, I was looking at the trailer. I sent it to James, and Hugh Jackman is just a beast of a man.
Oh yeah.
That's the thing that stood out to me. The overtone in this.
Jesus Christ.
I love how it just makes you laugh. You're just like he's just a beast of a man.
Beast. Oh yeah, like Thor, Chris Hemsworth, and oh god.
You know what? You got to give this guy praise because he totally owns.
Oh
the
yeah,
Wolverine
he
character.
loves
Yeah,
that
he does.
character.
And
yeah.
you can't do a Wolverine, any X-Men movie at all without him, even if they reboot
It'd
everything.
be an awful movie.
Yeah,
Not,
and
I'd say awful, but
it'd just be like I wouldn't buy it because Hugh Jackman is Wolverine,
Right.
and I mean he's like 44, and that guy is in so much better shape than me.
oh yeah,
It's like
all 3 of us put together.
well, we'd just be a weird amorphous blob of a man if we were all 3 put together, but.
Well, I'm glad he does it because he, he's been in movies like Les Mis and won, a few Academy Awards. And
Australia.
He's Australia. But then he comes and does like a comic book movie, which I think really helps out, the industry. These big movie stars want to be in comic book movies.
Well, he was a Broadway star before he was a movie star.
Exactly.
X-Men
Well,
is what
he
made
wasn't.
him a movie
He
star.
wasn't really a big. It was X-Men that made him a
Yeah.
star,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and he knows it. I mean, he knows where his bread's buttered,
Yeah.
and he's
Yeah.
not going to ignore it.
Yeah.
I mean, we've
He
seen what
respects
happens. We've seen what happens when big stars get a little too big for their britches, and they're like, I don't want to be a part of a franchise or whatever. Most notably, really, Halle Berry.
Is she not going to be in?
No, she's going to be in Days of Future Past, but I just really don't like Halle Berry because when they were making X3, she made a big stink about how she didn't want to do it, and
She wanted
Catwoman
She
came
wanted
out.
a bigger part.
Yeah,
in
and
X3.
Catwoman came out, and it totally tanked.
Yeah.
And she said she'd do X3, but she wants to be more of a lead role, and so they accommodated for her to give her more of a lead role.
To be fair, though, in the first 2 X-Men movies, she's barely in it.
Well, the second one, she has a much more prominent, important role.
Yeah.
And I will say that, but to be honest, she's not a very good actress. I
No,
really
agreed.
don't think she's a good actress. I know she's won an Oscar, yeah. It's just I don't see her. When I watch her in a movie, I don't see her actually act. I'm sorry. I see Halle Berry being Halle Berry,
Right.
and
Which is pretty hot.
Yeah, she's hot. I'm just saying. It's like, oh wow, hey Storm Halle Berry.
Yeah.
Oh hey Halle Berry as Storm.
I'm not
No,
running to the
yeah.
theaters to go see a Halle Berry movie.
But I would like to see Halle Berry in a mohawk for Days of Future Past.
That would be cool.
And if
awesome.
that doesn't happen, you drop the ball.
Yeah.
You dropped it.
You walk out of the theater, you tell that piece of crap.
I think
I want my money back.
For a future show before Days of Future Past comes out, we really need to go over the comic Days of Future Past.
Yeah.
I want to do an episode.
Well, there's
on
so
that.
many versions of Days of Future
Yeah.
Past, and I think a lot of people confuse like the cartoon storyline with the actual comic.
Very
storyline.
different. The cartoon storyline had
That was
Gambit
Bishop. No,
and Bishop.
it was Bishop,
Yeah.
and it was like a culmination of a couple of storylines.
Yeah,
because they referenced the Destiny Mystique assassination of Senator Kelly.
That's in Days of Future Past.
That
the
is Days of
original.
Future, but it was Destiny
Yeah.
and Mystique that did it, not like Apocalypse.
Yeah.
And
That's right.
there's a whole lot of. I mean, they just basically said we got all these time traveling X-Men. Let's just slam them all together. And
Which works because it's better to just put them all in one storyline than all of them.
well, and everybody
But,
also associates Forge with the future, which Forge wasn't a time traveler.
By the
He wasn't
way,
from the
what
future.
sort of stupid ass superpower is Forge? Like he's really good at fixing things.
He was okay.
The original
Are you ready for
Fix-It
this?
Felix.
Are you
Yeah,
ready for this?
yeah, I'm ready.
I have.
Blow
it.
my mind.
He is Richard Pryor from Superman 3. He has the ability that anything electronic you put it in front of him, he can make it work.
Figure it out. Okay.
Which I always thought was actually that's a pretty bad. That's a trade, is what that is.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
That's a
Yeah, I
that's a
know.
badass-
Well,
'Cause
why is
first
he
of
like,
all-
oh, I'm a mutant.
Yeah,
the world
yeah,
hates
first
me.
of
It's
all,
like,
like,
no, we're going to hire any company will hire you.
I just-
Quit being a fucking pussy.
you made the
God.
iPad, you jackass.
What a fuck. It's stuff like, I love X-Men, but it's stuff like that pisses me off. Like, that is just bad fucking writing.
We're throwing down the gauntlet now. Take that, Forge. The X-Men nobody remembers. Between you and Cypher.
Oh,
Who is Cypher?
here we go.
Somebody brought
Here
up
we go.
Cypher
Archer.
on Archer, yeah. And I was
Archer-
like, who the hell is that?
Archer made a Cypher joke.
Cypher
I
and
lost
Gambit
my
joke,
mind.
yeah.
I was just like, because they made the Gambit joke, and my wife goes, "Oh yeah, Gambit," and then he goes, "Who am I, the gayest X-Man?" And she goes, "What,
No, that's
Cypher?"
Cypher.
And I just go, "No way."
Now,
'Cause
I don't
first of all-
remember
okay,
Cypher.
He's in the New Mutants.
Oh, okay.
And he's not even one of the gay character X-Men
He's
that they've
just
had.
lame.
He's kind of got a lame power. He basically has I think the ability to talk to machines. I can't remember if
The
I can't
ability
remember if
to
it's the
move
ability
you?
to talk to machines or if it's the ability to like speak any language or talk to anything.
Oh my God, you poor misunderstood human. We must shun you.
Well, yeah, I know. Well, like in the 40 years of Cypher's history, I think the only interesting panel I've ever seen is him and Warlock, the robot alien, talking to each other in binary and like telling jokes to each other in binary. And like I read that panel, I'm like, that's actually pretty clever.
Yeah.
Like the way how it's portrayed, it's clever.
And of course,
then
you looked
the
up,
rest of
did
his
you look
character
up
is
the ones and
worthless.
zeros to make sure that it actually made sense, or were just random ones and zeros?
I'm sure somebody did.
You're a bad fan if you didn't do that.
Did you?
I never even read it.
He doesn't even know who Cypher is, for that matter.
Yeah, that joke like went over my head. I was like, "Whoa, who the fuck is Cypher?"
See, that's what I love about Archer is
Archer's
that
a
they
great show.
call like you think you know enough about pulp culture, and then it's like no, we know way more than you. We are so nerdy, you don't understand.
They blow Family Guy out of the water. Family Guy. here's the deal. You all know the secret behind Family Guy's jokes. It's not that they're smart. It's that they have they look up. They've said this on their DVD. What they do is they look up what they have cheap rights to parody, and they just look that up and insert that into their writing.
Well, I'm sure a lot of it is fair use, but I'm sure now they actually go back and look at their rights and what they can and can't make fun of. I'm sure everything that's owned by Fox is fair game, which is why you're seeing a lot more of them like directly attacking Simpsons or whatever whenever they can.
Because, you know, Simpsons is such a worse show than Family Guy.
Oh, yeah, it's just absolutely
Fuck
horrible.
you, Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah,
Although I did really like Ted. That was a
I still haven't seen it.
It's like a really good episode of Family Guy.
I will say
that's
this.
all it is.
I will say this.
It has a talking animal voiced by Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah, I really enjoy American Dad way more.
I agree with you with that.
Yeah.
I think it's Roger.
Roger sells that show.
Even the
It's
son.
ridiculous.
I like the episodes with Roger and Stan are the best.
Roger, Stan, Roger, and Steve. Those are really the best episodes.
yeah.
See, I don't really watch that one. I didn't like it when it came out. I've heard it got better.
They've done some crazy stuff with that show.
Yeah.
Like there's a Christmas episode
I love
that's
the Christmas
basically
episode.
Armageddon.
Yeah.
Like the apocalypse happens and Jesus comes back and it's a very well done. And like just like wow, it's a good Christmas episode.
My favorite one is when Steve shoots and kills Santa Claus and he comes back for revenge.
Yeah.
They fight him in an abandoned airplane and they're fighting off hordes of elves.
Yeah.
And Santa Claus is at the helm of the elves. And it's just they're killing all these elves left and right with candy canes they fashion into like pointy sticks. It's awesome.
Okay, back to
Back to what we're supposed to be talking about.
Is this the American Dad?
Yeah,
he's
that's
the
American Dad
best at
podcast.
what he does, and what he does
is not very nice.
Not very nice. There's So if you read one of the millions of books that Wolverine is in, which was one of the Avenger books, he's in like almost all the Avenger books. But there's a current Avengers run, the Uncanny Avengers.
Oh yeah.
And they have Apocalypse working with Kang, and Kang takes Apocalypse, and I'm not sure which version of Apocalypse it is.
We've talked about Kang before. He's a very, very out there character.
Well, the thing is, it's confusing when you're dealing with time travel, and especially when there's two versions of the same guy, Kang and Immortus. And it's like, and they fight each
Kang
other
and
all the
Immortus,
time.
and maybe even Rama Tut.
Well,
also,
well,
so there's like
in this incarnation, Kang and Rama Tut are the same.
Yeah.
So,
but isn't Rama Tut a younger version of Kang?
Yes.
So yeah, it's pretty fucked up.
So
Well,
did he
then,
change his
and then,
name
and then
after
Iron
prison?
Lad is a younger version of Kang altogether.
Yeah, that's right.
But it's basically.
And then of course he also has the Council of Kangs.
Yeah, the Council of Kings. Oh, it's so confusing.
I want to kill this guy off.
They introduced the Council of Kings in the animated series.
Yeah, they do.
And that was pretty
They do.
cool. I was like,
Yeah.
wow, they're really.
They don't bother, and what I liked about it is they don't even bother trying to explain it because they know that it's just too fucking weird. It's
Oh
like,
yeah.
here's the Council of Kangs. We're gonna release you from prison now, Kang. Go do your shit.
Well, what they could have done if they couldn't figure out a way to beat him is like at the end, Immortus shows up and is like, "Get out of here, Kang!" and boom, that's it. It's like what? I was like, "Oh, that's just me being rude to me."
You know,
Like, what?
You know, Immortus made a cameo going back to the X-Men animated series, and it's like the weirdest cameo. Like he just pops in and laughs and then
he's
disappears.
like this. He's like the janitor of Limbo or something.
Oh God.
And then he sends Bishop, I think, back to where I can't remember who was trapped. I think it was Bishop was trapped in Limbo. Sends him back to where he belongs, and then he reveals himself to be Immortus. And it's just basically like that old X-Men cartoon had a ton of cameos that they really just referenced almost everybody who's obscure.
Oh,
yeah. And I know. I remember being like 10, and me and my sister used to watch X-Men all the time. And I read more comics, obviously, than she did. But when he turns into Immortus, my sister was just like, what the fuck? And I was like, just don't ask.
Well, we didn't
it
have
doesn't make sense.
we didn't have the internet. We didn't have
Yeah.
Wikipedia back then.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's like
Look it
if you
up.
didn't know who it was, like you'd
Actually,
have to,
I don't think I knew who it was.
Yeah,
the
like
first time
I
saw
remember like the next day, like the next Monday on the playground, you're asking around like, who was the guy? Who was the guy? And like
Do you
one
remember-
kid would know,
Yeah.
and he'd be king for a week. You know, he's like, I knew it was Immortus.
Do you remember like just being on the bus and trading X-Men cards and shit?
Oh, yeah.
on
I
your
still
way
have
to
all mine.
Oh,
or
yeah.
work, school,
Work. I'd go in Dylan's.
into the sweatshop.
The coolest of those like those flare cards, those foil cards and stuff. The coolest one that I still think is the coolest to this day is the Stan Lee one where it's like it just says the man on it or whatever, and he's got it's like Stan Lee's face, and then literally every like
Captain
every
America's got an
possible
A on his face.
power.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
It's like, who is this guy? And it's like that's actually how I first learned who Stan Lee was.
Oh,
It's like, it's like I have no idea who this guy is, but he's super powerful. It's like, yes, he is, because he's the guy who created them.
Yeah.
So because he's a real human being.
Because he can breathe. I'll have to bring my cards in one of these days. I've still got all my old ones.
So, what did you guys think of
The first
X-Men
Wolverine.
Origins Wolverine?
Okay,
Here we go.
I have the perfect synopsis for this.
I might have the second perfect,
Okay.
but go on.
Okay.
Dueling synopsises.
Okay. Watch the first 5 minutes, and when the credits are over, you're done.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
And this is what
The credits
really,
were actually kind of good.
and this is what because it came out around the same time as Watchmen, and Watchmen had really awesome
Yeah.
credits too.
Yeah.
Because like they released the credit scene to Watchmen before the movie, and it like got me psyched.
Yeah.
Because like, oh my god, that's brilliant. That's how you tell a story is through like. Could you imagine if they do this with Superman? And I mean, that's how you show his origin. You don't
With
go
Wolverine,
into,
those credits, there is more storytelling that is at least worth a damn than anything in the movie.
I know. At the end of the movie, I go, why the hell didn't they make a movie out of the credits?
You know what? You know what they should have done? Rip off motherfucking Highlander. Like just have Wolverine walking around and then having a flashback to Vietnam and having a flashback to Civil War. Like
it's cyclical.
why
guys.
not?
It goes. It's cyclical. It all comes back.
yes, yes, it all comes back to Highlander.
Yeah.
The quickening.
Spaniard. But no, I mean like, because then watching them like fight all these different battles to really portray how
Bloodthirsty.
how
and
old they
angry
are,
and
and like
old
the
and-
bloodthirstiness of Sabretooth and all that. And
Yeah.
by the way, I will say, best version of Sabretooth.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Liev Schreiber did an awesome job.
Couldn't possibly do better. But it felt like this is the weird thing about Wolverine is right after he meets Gambit, okay? Right after he meets him, he then gets attacked by Gambit.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make any freaking sense after that. The whole movie, like, totally, like, it really felt like the first 2/3 of that movie, you're doing okay. You're like, okay, I'm buying this. I mean, this is good. This is okay. Even though the CG is terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, remember the fucking claws?
The fake claws. The
that
fake
looked
claws
worse in the movie 10 years prior.
Well, no, because they decided to CG the claws
Yeah.
instead of, I don't know, use one of the 18 million props that they have.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm surprised Hugh Jackman just didn't go, I got one of these in my trunk of my
Yeah.
car. Can I pull one of these out?
I like to impress ladies with it.
Well, it didn't map on his knuckles well, so
No,
like it shifted.
no.
It looked like the singing sword from Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Yeah.
I mean, did nobody see that, or did you see it? And just,
I saw Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
No, I mean like when
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
editing that. When
Well,
they're editing
the
the
thing
claws, it's like,
A rip of the movie came out online without the finished CG, and it's hilarious. In fact, I will say this: if you have to watch X-Men Origins Wolverine,
No one
find
should have to watch.
find the pre-edited rip. I'm sure somebody's got a torrent of it somewhere, because it's hilarious. Because like when he's like on I think a train or a semi, and he gets knocked over and he has to roll off. Like the rolling scene is like a CG dummy of Wolverine rolling, and it's just so funny. It's hilarious. And when like somebody was showing me clips of it, I'm like, oh my god, his claws look terrible. I'm like, oh, okay, that's just got to be like the pre-rendering, or
Yeah.
no, that was
That's
that
the
was
movie.
finished.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that is bad. And the thing, they tricked us. They tricked us because they showed a trailer at E3, and it was super badass when he's like going up against the helicopter and whatnot.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, yeah! Because at first everybody's like, nobody wants to see another Wolverine movie. Stop it, stop it. What? That's incredible! And you were really told that it was more of like a Weapon X movie.
Yeah, and that's what I thought.
And a Sabretooth movie. Yeah. And you're like, Deadpool, they're going to have Deadpool in it. It's going to be Ryan Reynolds, it's going to be awesome. Then you get Cyclops Pool at the end. That makes no sense.
Yeah.
And also, so you got Ryan Reynolds for like 4 minutes at the beginning of the movie.
Which is 4 minutes too long.
Yeah. And then I could see Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool if they do it right, which is he's got the scarred face, and in order to do like the dialogue with himself, you have him envision. He has to have
gold speech bubbles.
Well, no, you have him envision 3 different versions of himself. So every time he has the mask on, the 2 other versions of himself are mask off, scarred, and mask off, not scarred. And so, like, every time he's talking to himself, whether he has the mask on or off, like, you always see 3 different versions of Ryan Reynolds. Mm-hmm. And that way you get the sellability, the marketability of pretty face Ryan Reynolds. And you get what the fans want, which is Deadpool with scarred face, Deadpool with mask. Mm-hmm. So you get it. I mean, it's a total win-win. It's never going to happen, but who cares? Anyway, but like the whole adamantium bullet thing.
Oh yeah, yeah.
What is that? What is that line?
This will take away his memory.
Goes, will that kill him? No, but he'll won't remember anything. How do you know that?
Exactly. Did you? It's this part of your.
I yelled that in the theater. Like how do you know? Are you a neurosurgeon?
I saw that movie.
That's not how brains and bullets work.
I saw that movie twice, not because I liked it, but because I had 2 different groups of friends who wanted to see it.
Yeah,
there was one group of friends.
Liar, you want to see it?
Yeah, there was one group.
Maybe the first one was a joke.
There was one of them who, in this group, is like mentally handicapped. I think he's not too bright. At the end of the movie, he starts applauding, and I go, "Shut the fuck up!" Like, why would you applaud that shit? Yeah. Are you a fucking idiot?
Because he understands. He understands that even the worst comic book movie means that we live in a wonderful time when they can actually make a comic book movie.
You're giving him way too much. He's
look,
really dumb.
We live in a world where Rocket Raccoon and Groot will be on the big screen.
That's bizarre.
And Wonder Woman still hasn't made it yet.
I know. What is up with that?
And the porn version of Wonder Woman looks like a better suit and costume than that pilot TV show they made. That pilot TV show is awful. Yeah, I watched that thing and I'm like, wow, that's really bad.
I was like, they found the right person to play her in the right costume. They just can't.
It's a hard
put
combo.
Them together.
Well, here's the other thing. Who does she fight?
Who does she fight?
She's only got 2 bad guys.
She fights her heart.
Just stop it. Well, that TV show was really.
Now she fights all the gods of Olympus.
Yeah, now
Hades, and I think pretty fucking
that's
badass.
Probably what you will have to do if you do.
That could be like just make. All you have to do is make Thor, but with a hot chick and Greek instead of Norse. Pretty fucking easy to do. Like it's not that hard.
She wasn't Norse.
No, I said Greek instead of Norse.
Okay. Oh, so basically Xena.
Yeah. Just make a Xena movie.
It's basically what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's not hard
to
sell.
People will watch it.
Well, have you watched
Sexy lady who beats up Greek monsters.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Have you watched any of Arrow? You watched?
I have not been watching Arrow, and I have a coworker. I have a coworker who is furious with me that I have not been watching it. And the guy who they have cast as Roy Harper is friends with one of my coworkers.
Really?
And he's from Kansas.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So yeah, and which is nice because our station owns the CW, and now we can finally actually like cross promote that a lot better. So. Yeah, cool. Like when he was telling him, he's like, "Yeah, my buddy got cast in that show." He's like, "Oh, what character is it?" "Oh, Roy Harper." He's like, "Yeah, what is that? Is that a main character?" Yeah, he's a sidekick. He's a very main character.
Oh, yeah.
Damn it. So he's basically Robin.
You should check it out. It's not bad.
I know. I've been told it's pretty good.
It's a CW show.
When you get there, his
shirt's off.
Smallville for about 5 seasons.
Wow,
and then
you went
I
a
stopped.
long time.
Yeah. Well, I got in early.
I know when it got in. I watched the first season and I was done. I have a friend. I've probably told this story already on the show, but I have this friend who, like, in 2007 or whatever, was like, "Well, I just finished watching the season finale of Smallville season 7. I was like, what? That show's still on the air?
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, yeah. No one knows it's on the air anymore.
It's on. It's a comic now.
Yeah.
Season 10 is like a comic.
They did the same thing with Arrow.
Who watched
And, like, their
that
version
show?
of-
besides my
People
one
watch it.
friend?
They finally when they the show ends and you finally see the last shot is him revealing a Superman costume.
Yeah, it took 10 motherfucking years.
Well, they should have put him in that suit like a long time ago.
Oh yeah.
And then well, there was a lot of people who were like claiming on the because there was a possibility that they were going to reveal that Chloe was actually Lois. Because there was actually an issue of Superman. Someone did like some weird origin thing where like Clark sees Lois, and it was like an Elseworlds or something, and like it's called the Clois theory or whatever. Like in the comic, he goes, Lois Lane. She goes, hey, after she died, I felt like honoring her memory, and basically Lois Lane was a byline. She's really Chloe Sullivan or whatever, and a lot of people were. But anyways, that's neither here nor there because that doesn't exist anymore. But after the show ended, they did an ongoing comic, and it's like, well, let's show you what Batman would have looked like in the Smallville universe, and yeah, that's cool.
How did he look? Did he look like
his
He
parents
looked like
really...
Batman 1 Million. Have you ever seen the 1 Million issues? DC did this back like 2000, 2001. It's called DC 1 Million, and they basically said, what happens in the 853rd century? What would the Justice League look like? And the reason why they chose that time frame is because that's when, if you did the math, that's when issue 1 million would come out. And so, like, Batman 1 million is just like, you got to Google it to get a representation of it. But that's what he kind of looks like in their Smallville version. Robin's a robot. Batman's the warden of a prison planet on Pluto or something, a prison colony on Pluto, and I don't even know how to explain it.
Robin's a robot dog.
That's where the concept of Superman Prime came out from, where like Superman's a golden god who lives in the sun, and oh my gosh, it's just I don't even know how to explain it.
Crazy.
I love how they try to make Superman down to earth, but then some writers will try to make him down to earth, and then some writers will be like, he's a god, he's above everyone and everything. It's like, okay, cool. I'll be very interested to see what Snyder does with Superman.
Oh yeah,
but
yeah, I'm definitely gonna pick that.
I think
when does that come out?
Man of Steel. Let's Google that.
Thank God. What did we do before Google?
We had to remember and write down on calendars.
That's ridiculous.
When movies were coming out. I used to do that when I was a kid. I would write down in calendars like, okay, this is when this movie's coming out.
What is a calendar?
It's an app on your phone.
Oh.
Everything's an app on your phone, like a watch, like a clock. June 14th. So we have Iron Man in May, the beginning of May. We have Superman, Man of Steel in June, and then we have Wolverine in July. So every month we're basically going to have a comic book movie this summer.
Yeah, that we will cover on this podcast.
Well, and then November we get motherfucking Thor.
Is that what they titled it?
Oh, God, I wish they would.
It's called motherfucking
Actually,
Thor.
that's the porn version of Thor. Motherfucking Thor.
He comes to my house and he takes care of my mom.
It's kind of weird. He's talking about his mighty hammer all the time. The hammer is his penis.
Rise.
It's weird. It's really weird hearing it said out loud, the name of the hammer, because like when you read it, you have your own like interpretation of how it's pronounced, but then when you actually hear it like in the film, it's just like
it's like you're drunk, stoned kind of.
I'm pretty sure the Vikings were drunk when they came up with the name. That one looks, the still shots that they're releasing of that look really cool, but you know what I'm really psyched for is, and they've only been like releasing concept art and one still photo, and that's Captain America too.
See, I haven't even seen those yet.
I am super psyched about that one,
So
because
they're already doing the Winter Soldier thing.
they're doing Well, here's the thing. What are the most popular Captain America storylines that you can think of? Other than his
anything
origin.
Avengers.
That's kind of the problem with him and Iron Man and even Thor, is that they really don't have a lot of definitive storylines that really stand out.
Right.
Like Superman, Batman, Spider-Man. You can think of a lot of different individual storylines that those characters have had, but and I'm not taking away. I'm not trying to take away any of their popularity or the grandness of them being icons. They are icons. They're definitive, recognizable brands and characters, and they have been well written. But I mean, with Iron Man, it's like Demon in a Bottle.
Demon in the Bottle. That's about it.
Origin, Demon in the Bottle, and Extremis are the ones that people really know.
Yeah.
Same with Captain America. It's Origin, Winter Soldier, and I would probably say like Man Without a Country storyline or whatever, where he gets replaced with U.S. Agent.
Yeah.
Well, the thing about Captain America too, though, is that I think more than Iron Man and Thor, Captain America really Avengers kind of was his comic for a very long time.
Oh yeah,
like he really became the star of that. And especially in the early 60s, like they used that to just kind of explain. And that's why and I don't know, I could be wrong, but I haven't read a whole lot of his solo stuff, and I'm wondering if he's a great character, but I wonder if he just works better in a group.
Well, and when you read the solo books, they interject a lot of Avengers and S.H.I.E.L.D. characters, and that's what they're doing with the movie. It's more like Captain America and the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Okay.
Is what the movie should be called.
Okay.
Captain America and his S.H.I.E.L.D., S.H.I.E.L.D. being, an acronym instead of the word S.H.I.E.L.D.
Right.
But, I mean, that the still shot that they released is a shot of Captain America with his S.H.I.E.L.D. on his back staring at the S.H.I.E.L.D. logo. Mm-hmm. And that's the first still they released. And the cast they released, it's basically everybody who played a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent in the Avengers movie. I with the exception of I think Jeremy Renner's not going to be in this one, but like Scarlett Johansson and Kobe Summers and there's no Coulson, which really just
Why did they have to kill him off?
Well, no, he's not dead. He's coming back. You don't know?
I did not know this.
He's going to be the star of the S.H.I.E.L.D.
spoilers.
Show.
Spoiler
alert!
No, they've announced it.
Okay.
They officially
really
he's going to be the lead in S.H.I.E.L.D. The show.
Is that going to be a prequel?
No. So that's what everybody said. Because they made a really big grand deal about it at one of the Comic Cons or WonderCons 6 months back or something.
Yeah.
And because it was before the new year, I remember that. And who was it? I think Coulson comes out and everybody's like, or no. It was Whedon's out there and he's talking about it. He's talking about the S.H.I.E.L.D. show and everybody's chanting for Coulson. And he's like, well, I don't know you guys, blah blah blah. And then Kevin Feige comes out and he's like, well, Coulson, blah blah blah. And then finally Greg Clark comes out and everybody's like, that guy is such an everyman actor.
Yeah.
And to be the only character totally invented for that series to just immediately become a fan favorite. Mm-hmm. And you knew he was going to die. You knew there was no way on earth he was going to survive.
Yeah, if you know anything, if you've ever watched a Joss Whedon show, you know that your favorite characters always get killed.
Oh yeah.
And usually the dumbest possible ways too.
But it made sense because it's why are you really calling them the Avengers?
Yeah.
And they needed something to avenge, and it's Coulson's death. But I wish by the time Captain America 2 comes out, there's some kind of knowledge that Captain America knows that Coulson's alive or something.
So are they hiding it from them?
I think that's what's going to happen is that they have to hide it from them. I don't think they're going to openly acknowledge that
There's been
he's
a
alive.
Theory.
There's been a bunch of theories.
This theory, I'm going to call bullshit on this theory because it's just too out there, but I'm going to put it out there anyway. A lot of people have theorized that Coulson is going to come back as Vision. He's going to be an android version of himself.
No, I hope not.
A lot of people
walls.
A lot of people have said life model decoy.
Yeah. Which
There's
is
a couple
the
of
biggest
weird.
There's a couple of things that you can kind of interpret to get where you get the Vision idea, and one of them is really
they're really kind of magic bullet.
Yeah, but think about it this way: he broke in the Avengers. He breaks into Iron Man's apartment, bypasses the Jarvis security system without any trouble, and like walks in without a clue. Yeah. And you can kind of write that away as he's a freaking secret agent of the most powerful agency ever. Also, he's a badass. Also, there could have been just a device in his hand. You can write it away as a million
or
different
even
things.
be just a convenient plot device.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He got in. That's all that matters. But I mean, Stark even says it, life model decoy. He said the words life model decoy, and like that exists.
Yeah, I know.
So you can't ignore it. It exists.
I don't think it'll work
universe.
though. I think the part of Coulson's charm is that he's in a suit.
I think
and he's like a quiet, calm,
I think what they'll do.
person.
That is very typical nerd.
I think what they'll do.
Straws,
I think what they'll do is they'll take the very realistic route of it because they're not idiots.
Right.
They know who their core audience is, but they also know that they want to get the general audience.
Exactly.
And you can't alienate one, but you can keep them both together because the core audience will still buy this part. Fury lied. He didn't die. He just basically told the medics, get him out of here, keep it a secret.
Yeah.
He lived, and now he's, working undercover or working on maybe it's like a smaller division of Black Ops version of S.H.I.E.L.D. or something, which would explain why they wouldn't have like the Hell Carrier and all that stuff in the series.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna have a smaller budget anyways. Even though I know ABC's just going to be like, take every last dime we had for this.
Well, they could do the old thing where they do one shot of Helicarrier,
no,
and then they just use it over and over and over again.
Or they could do like the old Star Trek thing where they just paint a picture of it and play the doo-doo-doo.
But I'm super excited for the show because that'll be where you're going to introduce a lot of street level characters.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm kind of hoping that Taskmaster is introduced to that show.
Ooh,
I love Taskmaster.
Are you aware of the Taskmaster?
Yeah, I know who he is. Yeah.
He looks kind of like the Hobgoblin, does he not?
He looks a lot like Hobgoblin, but with a white skull mask.
Yeah, I think he came out before.
No, Hobgoblin.
Really?
No, Hobgoblin came out after Taskmaster, but
'cause-
Green Goblin came out before Taskmaster.
Of
So,
course.
Yeah. But yeah, white hood, skull face. He has a shield, bow and arrow, and a sword.
How does he hold all that? No, I'm just kidding.
Dude, who cares? He's badass. Hey, do you know what his ability is?
He can learn.
He basically has a photographic memory, and like they basically call it like super muscle memory or something. He can watch somebody do something, and he can instantly do it.
Which kind of I'm going to call
James.
Marvel on their bullshit. Yes, like James. I'm going to call Marvel on their bullshit and say, well, how come that's not a mutant power, but Forge being able to fix things is a mutant power?
They've retconned his origin.
Have they really? Okay.
They've retconned his origin.
So everything is a fucking mutant power now?
The latest version of his origin is he was a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent named Tony Masters, and
Tony Masters. Sounds like Taskmaster.
Yeah. Hey, come on. Anyway, he's an old school character, so he gets an old school name. That's how this works. Anyway, he was a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent who was like breaking up some mad scientist, whatever, who was working on this like genetic serum that would give people this ability, and he gave it to himself because he wanted to be a better agent. But the problem with his ability is that it's always overriding his memory. So
interesting.
He has lost like a ton of his memory, a la old school Wolverine Weapon X era. Good to take it all back to Wolverine.
It's a circle.
Okay, yeah.
We're moving in a
so like
circle.
he doesn't remember like being a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. Like a lot of the times he doesn't even remember like his. He says he doesn't remember anything about his family except the way his dad used to hit him. Because
of course.
because it was fighting, it was motion.
Closed fist.
Yeah, like at one point I think they've even introduced the possible illegitimate daughter of him. Because there's a female
Tammy Masters.
Well, they had a story. They had a comic called Avengers Academy where they introduced a character called Finesse, and she had almost the exact same. Where she could learn other people's abilities just by watching it, and she was kind of like autistic in that she didn't get like emotions or sincerity or anything like that. And she always suspects that Taskmaster's her dad because they have such similar abilities. She finally meets him. They fight, and then he's disappointed because he thought that maybe she would have an original fighting style, so he could remember her. But now because he knows that she has the same
That's
problem
sad.
he does, is like I'll never know. Maybe you are my daughter. I don't know. We'll never know.
Wow.
So it's like really like.
Was this
damn.
before DNA testing?
I know that's the other thing. Like, just don't fucking test it.
Why don't we go to Maury and
like-
that'll
You got a
are
dude who
not.
fight it out.
You got a
We'll
dude who
fight
can
it out.
shrink himself and talk to ants, but you can't. Come on.
Well, they're not very good writers.
I'm still waiting for. Well, they just want that touching moment. I'm still waiting for. So yeah, I'm really interested. Going back to Captain America, too, though. I've been looking at like who's cast for what, and like one of the characters they're going to introduce, they're going to have. Okay, it's Winter
Please tell me
Soldier.
Baron Zemo's going to be in it.
I don't know if Baron Zemo's going to
Because
be in it.
I mean, if you're going to do Captain American villain, who do you have besides Red Skull and Winter Soldier?
Armin Zola is going to be in it again.
Oh, is he going to
And
be
he's
the
probably going to be robot
dude?
Armin Zola if he's going to be back in it.
That's going to be cool.
Interesting.
Baron Zemo, like I love him, but at the same time, he's pretty much the exact same thing as the Red Skull, but kind of cooler actually. I think he's cooler than Red Skull.
He has been more successful than the Red Skull when you really look at it, because he formed the Thunderbolts and all that jazz.
And back in the day, he's the one who killed Bucky.
He's the real reason why Bucky died.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if we eventually get, because what they'll do in all the Captain America movies is they'll probably do flashbacks to World War II stuff. I wouldn't be, and the weird thing is the concept art for like Captain America in modern time that I've seen, he has a more World War II looking uniform.
Really?
So I wouldn't be surprised if they change his uniform again for the. They probably will.
Yeah,
just a
toys.
little bit more because of the merchandising.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And as long as they can get him to look more like the World War II uniform, because I love that.
Oh, yeah.
uniform. That's
Yeah.
just badass.
The Avenger one was.
I don't know. That one grew.
That
on
was
me.
that was like Coulson's dream. It was
Yeah.
like, I made this for you.
Yeah.
Please wear
It's
this.
really
Yeah.
tight.
I stayed up late touching myself and sewing and.
I came up with a great scene for Captain America too. Like, you know how he's like so culturally inept because he's been in ice forever. The whole I get that reference with the flying monkeys joke in Avengers. Wouldn't it be great if like somebody took him to go see Star Wars in 3D and he's just like a marathon of all of it. And he's sitting there and like you just see his face with like 3D glasses on, like shoveling popcorn in his mouth, and you just hear, "I am your father." He goes, "No way!" And they could do that because they have the rights.
Yeah, exactly.
So
That'd be
it'd
awesome.
be great cross promotion because people would be talking about Star Wars.
Why not?
That's true.
Maybe
I
that could be in the credit montage at the beginning.
We should write them.
I'm gonna get my pen and paper out now.
We should email them because that's more not effective. So we were talking about Wolverine. Oh, one last thing. I really want to get this out there. The other thing I saw is they're going to have Batroc the Leaper in Captain America.
Are you serious?
Yeah, but he's just going to be called Batroc. He's not going to be
Oh
called Batroc
yeah,
the Leaper.
yeah.
But he'll probably just be some criminal who does parkour,
Yeah.
which is basically
pretty
what
cool.
he is.
Yeah.
So,
I wish I could do parkour.
but think about that. Batroc the Leaper is going to be in a movie before Aquaman. Screw you, Aquaman.
Yeah, exactly.
Screw you, The Flash.
Flash.
Yeah, fuck
Oh,
you,
don't-
Wonder Woman.
I can't believe The Flash hasn't been in a
Oh,
movie.
that's
though.
awful.
Well, he's kind of one of the best. He's got a great rogues gallery.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
actually
He
where
is-
the term.
I would
or
love
no,
to
it
see
might
him
be
fight
Bat-
the gorilla.
No, the Rogues was a term that's originally come up.
But that's the rogues. Rogues gallery
Yeah.
comes from an issue of Batman where Batman is looking at paintings of all of his villains and he says, "This is my rogues gallery. Two-Face is my scariest villain." And then it doesn't make sense, but it was the 1960s, so there you go.
I really do like Flash's Rogues Gallery
He's
more than Batman's
Oh,
because
oh,
they're
wow.
organized.
Wow.
One of them's a gorilla for crying out loud.
No, he's not part of the rogues.
He's not part of the Rogues.
Gorilla,
He's one of
Gorilla
his-
Grodd
he's
is
one
not
of
part of the
You're right.
rogues. Shut the fuck up.
Hey now.
No, I'm kidding. It's like Mirror
Wait a minute, are we
Man.
talking about New 52 or are we talking about...
Yeah. In your face,
Yeah,
James.
That's right, I threw that down.
Yeah.
But it's who is it? It's Mirror Man, Captain Cold,
Mirror
is the
Master,
leader.
Captain
Mirror
Cold.
James' mom.
Trickster. James' mom. Trickster.
My mom.
Trickster, Heatwave, Weather Wizard,
yeah,
Abracadabra
Weather
sometimes. Probably not.
They need to change that name.
That they haven't used them in a long time. There were a couple. I
Trivia.
Go on.
Who played the Trickster on the Flash TV
Oh,
show?
come on.
I know.
I'm not
Because
even gonna pass
you know
that.
what? Because he also played Trickster on Justice
That's
League
right.
Unlimited, and it was played by the great Mark Hamill.
That's right.
And if it wasn't for the fact that he played that Trickster role,
He wouldn't have been Joker.
Exactly.
You know, I never.
You know, we have a lot of fun here on the True Believers podcast.
That's right.
You know, I
almost got in a fist fight there for a second.
No, we didn't. Enrique and I are lovers. Now, I tried watching
Going
The
back
Flash.
to the jeans thing.
Holy crap, that is a
The old
bad
show?
fucking show.
Well, I was really mad about that old show because when they introduced Captain Cold, it's like they kill him at the end. I was like, this is...
Do they
Damn
really?
it.
Yeah, they kill him or what. And he's like an albino and like he's all 90. He's all 90s version Captain Cold. And it's like,
Ew.
whatever. There's a couple of really good... like before Final Crisis came out, there was a really good like miniseries with the. There were a couple of really good miniseries with the Rogues. There was one where like all the villains of the DC universe got sent to a prison planet, and it's written in the perspective of Flash's Rogues.
Oh, wow.
And then there's another one where like the Rogues killed Inertia. No. They killed.
Inertia the Force?
No,
They
no.
destroyed the
Inertia the
physical
villain. No, they
force?
kill.
How do you do that?
They kill Impulse. They kill Impulse, the Barry Allen's grandson,
Yeah.
who eventually becomes a Flash, and then they kill him. And then after they kill him, they're like on the run, and then like there's these other guys that are trying to be the new version of the Flash's Rogues, and they're just punk kids that have their gear, and they're like, well, we're gonna kill you. And like at one point, like they leave a message for them that, hey, Captain Cold, we're gonna go kill your dad. Ha 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 ha. ha. And he's like, hey, you kid, fuck you. And it's like, what? And he's like, yeah, you heard me. Fuck you. I'm gonna go kill my dad first. And it's like, what? And yeah, he goes and kills his dad first. And then they go kill those kids.
Wow.
It's a crazy good read.
All right, I'm gonna pick that one up. That was
That's good stuff. Go to your comic shop, folks. Come on.
Damn it.
Support comic shops.
This one, we're going to go over actually, this is the first major appearance of Wolverine. Come here if you want to look at this.
I don't.
Because it all comes back to Wolverine.
Yes, this is what you call a callback.
Our clawed master.
This Wolverine actually first appeared in The Incredible Hulk 181 in 1974. So if you notice, look how strange his costume is too. Like he's like a little kitty cat.
He looks more like a badger than he does a...
the Badger versus the Hulk.
And here, read this. He's here, the world's first and greatest Canadian superhero.
I don't think he was the
boy.
first Canadian superhero, but...
Probably
that's-
not.
it
But
probably
he's here.
wasn't, yeah.
He's here though.
I'm sure
Scott.
in Canada, why
Oh, yeah.
why couldn't... Ontario is not a small town. I'm sure they could have written their own comic books over there.
Well.
Yeah, but they would have sucked.
They would have been Canadian. But we're like, hey, stop that, eh?
Hey.
What are you doing there?
Hey.
Yeah, they all would have...
Knock it off, hoser.
You
had
killed my
peace at the
parents,
end.
eh?
Is that also the first issue where they introduced Wendigo, or...
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
okay.
It is. Wendigo is kind of a curse. It's actually a real
It's a
curse.
real Native American curse.
Yeah. Well, it's not a real curse. It's a real...
mythology.
Yeah.
Yes.
When to stay.
Yeah, it's kind of like a wolf. It's kind of like a wolf man.
No, you're not getting away
I had
with that.
to. I had
You're not
to.
getting away with it.
I
I
like to-
heard
I
it.
had to sneak
When
it
to
in.
stay or when to go now.
How about now? We go now. Let's go. Let's do
Now,
it.
one thing about I'm noticing with a lot of these '70s ones, they don't have. A lot of times they don't have mail, and I apologize for that.
Yeah.
But it does have a Stan soapbox.
It's not your fault.
Okay.
Stan's soapbox is awesome. They're like these little bylines where Stan just has like an editorial and just shoots the shit about whatever's on his insane mind.
You know what I can't stand?
I hate young people.
I don't care for Big League Chew.
So instead of mail this time, we're just going to read a soapbox. So here we go. You know, I hate to sound like I'm always hawking something in the old soapbox.
He was
but
always
we've-
hawking something.
Yeah, what the fuck? But we've never launched as many exciting new projects as these past few months, and this is the only place where I can get you all together and tell you about them all at once. Anyway, by the time you read these pulsating phrases, Spidey's Super Stories, what the fuck is that? Is already on sale. That's the one. Excuse me. That's the one we're producing in partnership with Children's Television Workshop Electric Company show, and it's for all the younger Marvelites among you. Oh, the Electric Company. That is before our time.
That's basically when they were starting to do like, okay, well, our readers are more older, but we need to get those kid readers back.
Yeah.
So they started doing that because like they do it now, like Marvel Adventures line, I think, is what they do now, where they have like Marvel Adventures Spider-Man, Marvel Adventures Avengers.
Oh yeah.
And they're basically like they're geared for the kids.
Mhm.
Exactly.
And you have to do something like that. And sometimes those books are really funny. I
Yeah.
mean, because they get to be humorous and do goofy things that you don't get to
Well,
do.
even on Cartoon Network, they do.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you know, I think there's been a
The
Batman
Superhero
Lego.
Squad or whatever. Yeah.
And they started doing a Young Justice to get like teenagers, which is actually a really good.
I'll tell you what's really
like
good. That Green Lantern animated series.
Yeah, I watched that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I've heard it's good.
Oh yeah, and I really hope it. They're talking about possibly picking it up. I really hope.
Yeah,
it
What
does.
did you think of the animation on that?
You know what? It's Tim. It's Bruce Tim in 3D, and at first I was a little appalled by it, but it's more spacey stuff, so you get away with it.
Yeah.
If they were to do more stuff on Earth, it'd be like,
It'd be
Yeah,
boring.
because I remember the scene with the train looked really weird.
But it's so that last story arc they do, because the first story arc is the Red Lantern story arc, and the second story arc is the Anti-Monitor story arc. That is so good.
Yeah,
I
does
did
that
not see
take
them
place
going
in
in that
the
direction.
same DC animated universe as the other shows?
That's the thing. They're not saying it does, and it probably doesn't because it has Hal Jordan.
Mm-hmm. But Hal Jordan wasn't on any of the old ones.
He was in Justice League Unlimited,
was he?
but it was like a weird. He like switched places in a parallel dimension.
Oh.
with Johnson. Yeah, it's
I
not.
see.
He wasn't really in it. So, but you know, I mean, who knows? Maybe they'll just go ahead and make a whole new universe. I'd love to see them do that.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I don't think we're ever going to see that again. That was almost 20 years of continuity that they've had in those shows. I mean, they had callbacks to the original Batman animated series, and like that's what I love about Netflix. Go online, you can watch
right.
all those shows except for
They're not on Netflix.
Justice League and Justice League Unlimited.
When did they start going on
Just last weekend.
Netflix? I wish I wouldn't have
Just last weekend.
let mine expire.
You dork.
Oh, it's wonderful. And
That's
they
okay,
picked up a lot of Adult Swim shows and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Well, that's good.
Hey, I just want to say that I'm looking at the Wolverine Wikipedia page and it's absolutely ridiculous, like what they have listed as his abilities.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, can I go over this?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
They have regenerative healing factor. Okay, we all know that.
Yeah.
Superhuman senses, strength, stamina, agility, reflexes, longevity. Okay,
Sure, why
we all
not?
knew that. Adamantium lace skeletal structure. Well, we all know that. Retractable adamantium lace bone claws. Yeah, we all know that.
Yeah.
This is my favorite one. Elongated and sharp canines.
That's a power?
Yeah, apparently that's a power and ability now. So
Yes.
he is in so many friggin' groups and team affiliations.
that is my favorite, is how
Absolutely
people
ridiculous.
they always
sells
want to call
comics.
Wolverine a lone wolf, though,
And
and he is not.
Oh, no.
And
He is a
his
total team
aliases
player.
are ridiculous on here. It's so absurd. And then what? Okay, so this Superior Spider-Man series that's going on right now. You guys know what's going on in that?
Is that
Yeah.
the Dr. Octopus?
Dr.
thing?
Octopus
Yeah,
has taken over Peter Parker's brain or whatever.
That's so stupid.
Well, the Avengers have figured out that they know there's something wrong with Spider-Man because he kills somebody and then he beats the crap out of some low-level villains, like beats them nearly to death. So the Avengers are like, we've got to stop. And like Wolverine's like, that's not acceptable. That's not how we do things. He murdered somebody, and everybody's like, way to call a freaking kettle black,
No
dude.
shit.
What? It's like I just can't.
Did they
believe,
all
like,
turn around and say, "That's not Wolverine"?
Well, I think even Hawkeye said it. You got Wolverine and freaking and Black Widow and are sitting here saying, "Oh, you guys are assassins." Wolverine straight up kills a dude like
I
on a
think
regular
'cause he's-
basis.
That's just bad writing, though.
I think
right?
he's just scared of Spider-Man.
I don't know. How many dead ninjas do you think there are in hell because
Exactly.
of Wolverine?
4.
That's some pretty bad writing right there. Okay, let's go back.
Back
Yeah,
on
okay.
the soapbox.
Let's see. Where was I? Something marvelous. So be sure that your kid brothers and sisters latch onto a copy. It'll keep them out of your hair for a while. But for the rest of you, mature and you mature madmen, the time is come to grab the most colorful production of all in comicdom, namely the great new Marvel superhero calendar, which goes on sale early in August whenever books and magazines are sold. Reserve your copy fast. Judging by the flood of advanced orders, it's gotta be a sellout. Wow, this is really hard to read.
Two things real fast. One, James is a good reader. Two, isn't a soapbox supposed to be, he's speaking out against something and not pushing his...
No, he's just on a soapbox talking.
Okay, wow.
Stan is a rambler.
He's a pusher also.
Yeah.
A pusher.
Here's a new drug, kids.
Let's see.
I call it the Hulk.
I'm gonna increase the size of this so I can see a little better.
Increase the size.
Don't get excited.
Don't get too big.
Let's see. Call us show-offs if you wanna, but we figured the time has come to prove we can do more than produce the world's greatest comic books. We're about to invade the magazine field too. Can't you just imagine Time, Playboy, and the Reader's Digest shaking in their boots? Well, no wonder, because here comes the newest brain blaster. Early in September, a grateful public will feast its collective eyes on the most beautiful publication of the month, Marvel's joyous journey into the past, Nostalgia Illustrated. You'll thrill to the photos and articles about Babe Ruth, W.C. Fields, Elvis Presley, Tom Mix, Mae West, and countless other greats from yesteryears of time. I've never heard of this thing.
Yeah.
I don't think this was successful.
No, well, obviously it wasn't. But I mean, the thing is, they were a publisher, and publishers were trying to do everything they could to maintain money. I don't know when. This was 74. I don't know what comic book sales were like back in 74, so maybe they were.
Well, we'll have to ask is George.
Yes.
George Lawson.
Oh, yeah.
We'll ask him about that.
There's some more soapbox. Do you want to pick up the blue? Do you want to read that one?
The blue.
Are you on the same page as soapbox?
I'm not on the same page as you. Hold on, let me.
Oh God!
Here, I'll give this to
Keep
Enrique
up.
while you do that. You can read the blue.
All right, I'll read the blue.
Careful.
But now it's time for something in a more serious vein, a story that must be retold, a chronicle of man's inhumanity to man.
Isn't it better now that I've increased the size?
Yeah,
it's just too small to read.
And biggin man. And the ultimate triumph of good over consummate evil. I'm going to consummate this evil. Recognizing the awesome power of the printed page to enlighten, to inform, and to stir the conscience of the world. Marvel proudly presents the first in a spectacular series of magazine documentaries, photo profiles of men and women who have changed the course of history. Our first never-to-be-forgotten issue is entitled Hitler. Oh, God.
Oh, geez. What? Why would you start with Hitler?
Hey, you know who sells magazines?
Hitler.
Yes, it's the incredible picture biography of the fanatical Nazi Führer whose hell-spawned racism and...
I think we figured out why this wasn't successful.
And maniacal lust for conquest brought the entire human race to the brink of destruction. In this incredible issue, you'll see shocking pages of actual history come to life before your eyes. You'll see the almost unbelievable rise and fall of Nazi Germany. Did I say that right? The Third Reich, which Hitler vowed would live 1,000 years. And this and more await in you in the first photo profile, Hitler. Produced by Marvel and on sale now.
Good thinking, guys. Good fucking job.
We know how that went.
Here's a fun fact about Hitler. Did you know that he actually...
killed a lot of Jewish people?
Well, after that, he actually did not kill himself. His body double did, and he hid in the United States and became the hate monger until the Fantastic Four unmasked him. True story.
Actually, this is...
Swear to God.
Here, let me finish off Stan's soapbox real quick.
Finish us off there. Finish me off, Scott.
Incidentally, have you noticed I haven't said a word about this mammoth-sized treasury of Spider-Man, the $1.50 library edition, which is also on sale now? That's because it's selling so fast. If you haven't gotten yours yet, you may already be too late. But lest you think we'll finally be content to slow down and rest on our laurels,
Here's just a hint of our next blockbuster. Even before the shock waves begin to settle, we'll be topping off the whole megala with our long-awaited origin of Marvel Comics.
So you'll be topping off the megala.
The 250-plus page full-color book published by Scheiman and Schuster.
Ooh.
Due on sale in October at bookstores everywhere. So save your shekels and keep thinking Marvel. As for me, I better sign off now. Before you get the idea we're trying to sell you something.
Excelsior.
Now, I actually am interested in that origin of Marvel Comics 250.
that would be a good
That
read.
sounds
Yeah.
familiar. I wouldn't be surprised if you've seen that at a con or whatever.
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah.
And I love the picture at the bottom of Luke Cage hitting a home run.
Yeah.
That's freaking awesome.
That doesn't seem fair.
I think I'm gonna make that my Facebook profile pic now. That's really freaking
Home
funny.
run.
I also,
Sweet Christmas. It's
Also-
going deep.
I also like these items on the side. Item. Hey, ever wonder how Madcap Marvel crew spent their summer vacations? Well, we're going to tell you anyway. Besides the usual mishmash of comic art conventions and travel treks, here's the scoop. This turned out to be the softball summer.
Oh,
that's right.
why they got the
Each and
picture.
every Wednesday come 5 p.m., a couple of dozens artists, writers, and publication pundits dashed out of the 575 Madison and made the beeline for nearby Central Park, where they demonstrated quite amply the national pastime is far from passé.
Oh.
So basically, they just went outside and played baseball.
Well, hold on,
and now
hold on.
they're
The reason
riding
why they
around.
got the Power Man hitting the is because it says Ron Wilson turned out to be a Power Man on the softball field,
Oh, Jesus.
as well as in the pages of Luke Cage's mag.
Oh, good
And then,
Lord.
but here, check this out. Item. And what about off the ball field? Well, when he wasn't swinging, and I mean swinging
Oh,
a mean
God.
bat, Herb Trimpe was last seen jogging every day through the self-same Central Park, and usually being mistaken at least once starstruck passerby for Alan Alda of MASH fame. These guys were such dicks to each other.
When you think about it, it's like, you look like Alden Alda. I'm just going to write that in here because I got nothing to do.
It really does. It kind of feels like this. It's like we need to put something.
Yeah.
Talk about
Fill
it.
the
You
page.
think I'm Alan Alda.
Fill the page.
Wow, this is really the precursor to podcasting when you think about it.
Yeah.
It is. Well, I think. That kind of wraps it up. This is an extra long episode.
Yes.
We might have to divide it into 2 parts.
Was that man sized?
Maybe not. This is a giant-sized man thing.
Giant-sized man thing edition of True Believers.
Hulk-sized non-talk about Wolverine.
Yeah, we didn't do a whole lot of that, did
Yeah.
we?
Yeah.
There's only so much you
We
can
still
say about
covered a lot
Wolverine
of
that hasn't
quality
already been
issues.
said.
Yeah.
Screw
He's
you, Wolverine.
angry and
Well, if you're listening to this, you kind of know who Wolverine is anyway. So.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would
willing to
hope.
bet
I would
it's
hope.
you know some version of Wolverine.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Acceptance is the first step to realizing
Exactly.
you have a problem.
I did I think this is going to air before the one that I did with Sean here recently, but Sean and I were looking at a Star Wars Marvel, and we were like, well, there was an ad, and we're like, well, that's Spider-Man, that's Thor. Who's that? Is that Red Sonja? No, I think that was Shauna the She-Devil.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But we couldn't figure out who it was. Well, anyway, let's go ahead and wrap. Let's see, what the hell is this? Oh, shit. Looks like there was mail in this after all. Oh, well.
Oh, well. We'll get to it later.
You
The
dork.
pages are all messed up in this issue, so it's
Yeah.
kind of weird.
Yeah,
Usually they're at the end.
it's
like
at
this
the-
is in the middle or something.
It's kind of at the beginning. That's
Yeah.
weird.
Well, okay. No big deal.
Who cares? We read Stan's soapbox.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for listening to the show. Thank you, Scott, for coming on, and thank you for helping us build our website.
It was fun. The website, not so much. Doing the podcast, it's fun. No, if you guys want me back, I'll come back. That's no
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah, we'll definitely have you back. After this, I recorded a couple more shows with Sean. Sans Enrique, because Enrique hates Sean. I
Yes.
just want everyone to know
It
that.
got real.
Wow.
It got real.
You know,
Throw
you
it
guys
down.
need to get over.
You don't look at
whatever
me
problem you
cross-eyed.
have.
Come on, dude, bro. No.
No,
Come
I'm kidding. They don't hate each
No,
other.
it's just my schedule's crazy. So.
Yes. Well, anyway, thanks for listening, and have a great day.